Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus A330 pilot and welcome to another flight in the Aerosoft/Tolless A340-600. Today we're taking her from Frankfurt to Newark on the Lufthansa flight 402, which is one of the few flights still operated on the A340-600 in the real world. I'd say without any further ado we are gonna go straight into it and board our A340. Now, before we start, as always, a very quick look through our flight plan, and I'm going to do this through viewing the PDF from SimBrief in Firefox, so that we don't have to rely on that electronic flight bag, which I find a little clumsy to use, to be honest. Now, we're departing Frankfurt and making our oceanic entry via Ireland, then we are using NAT Delta today on our way over into New York. Now, looking at the significant weather chart, we are crossing a jet stream over here, which is going to come with a little turbulence. We got the area number 2, which is just up here, so it does not affect us. And then we have area number 4, which is the one that we are flying through twice. And number 4 is moderate turbulence, as you can see down here. Now, from there, we are moving on to the other side of the Atlantic, and we got another area number 2 that we are going to be crossing, even though, look at this, area number 1 with an arrow pointing here. But that's the same area that's marked as number 2, isn't it? Interesting little fail from the weather services here. And number 2 would be moderate turbulence to level 400. I guess that this number 1 applies to this area here, which is severe turbulence forecast to flight level 400. So yeah, I might have to switch on the seatbelt signs a little early there. In terms of airport weather, Frankfurt has beautiful weather with winds from the southwest, little gusts temporarily, or rather becoming a little gusty. Now, looking at Newark, things are looking a little different here. Our estimated time for arrival is 21:15. So with that in mind, going down to the Newark weather forecast, we got this one down here, 170 at 15, gust 25. They're using runway 22 over there, so it's going to be pretty cross. And there is some wind shear forecast in altitude at 2,000 feet, where the wind is supposed to be 200 degrees at 50 knots. So quite the strong drop of wind on the final forecast over there. Also note that there's a probability of 30% for thunderstorms in the area when we do arrive. Our first alternate in Philadelphia is giving us a little better windy conditions here, but still pretty cross at 28 knots in light showers of rain, so that is actually approaching the operational limitations of the A340. The alternate in Boston isn't much better, to be honest, and then we got Washington, which is likewise not much better. So it's basically the entire East Coast that is covered in that type of weather at the moment. With that in mind, looking into our ETOPS area, Shannon is looking quite good and Gander is looking quite good as well. So having a look at the top of our flight plan, we're leaving Frankfurt at 12:30, arriving 10 minutes late in Newark. Takeoff weight 310 tons with plenty of margin everywhere. Starting level 360 and then later on 370 over the pond and 380 on the other hand side. With that in mind, let's have a look into the fuel section of our plan. 81.6 plus taxi, so basically 82.5. Now we gotta ask ourselves, how much extra fuel do we want? And I'd say half an hour is good, so let's add 4 tons of fuel. So we're at 82.5 plus 4 makes 86.5 for today's flight. And I guess that's probably all we are going to be able to do today, since the rest is, yeah. It looks like we're wasting a bit of fuel, but honestly I see no other way of doing this over here due to the weather being bad pretty much everywhere over on the East Coast. Alright, so with that in mind, the decision is made. 86.5 tons of fuel it is, and then we can go ahead and start setting our A340 up for today's service. So starting with the preliminary cockpit preparation, the engine masters are off, start selector norm, weather radar off, landing gear lever down, wipers off. Battery voltage is more than 25.5 each, and power is already applied. Then looking down here, the RMP can be set at 122035, which is our delivery frequency. Active monitoring VHF 1, 2 and the interphone, and the speaker is selected, but let's not blast our ears away. Something in the middle should be absolutely fine like that. Okay, good. APU fire test. Looking good. ADS 1, 2, 3 are coming online. Then I'm going to start the APU in order to warm it up in the airplane. Come on, startup. Come on. Here we are. Okay, fantastic. So, cockpit brightness. Let's go ahead and switch all of those on and to their maximum. So, over there as well. The only ones I do not want on, the floodlights, because those are not very realistic at all in their implementation. Let's go down to the ATSU and do the flight init up here. Give it a couple of moments to initialize, and once that is done, we can go forward. So initialization is in progress. Let's do a departure ATIS request. What do we have there? Nothing for the time being. Okay, weather request. Give me the forecast, please, for everything. So here we go. Meta Frankfurt, and the QNH is 1014, the rest is as expected. So 1014 set 1, 2, and 3 times. Beautiful. 6 degrees in here, APU available, APU bleed is coming on. Yeah, this is better. Now that we got the APU running, it's also going to stay that way. Excellent. That's what we are looking for. Okay, good. So that stuff's done. Then let's do a recall. And we got everything normal. A340-600, Trend 556 engine. Enough database is up to date at the time of the recording. Then let's move over into the electronic flight back. So we got the weight and balance. And over here, let's see. It defaults to 228 tons. And that's actually what we're expecting as well. 275, those figures are good. So apply these load figures, and then for the fuel we said we wanted 86.5, like that. Let's do a quick refueling over here, because in the real world we would have submitted this while we were at the briefing room already. So the airplane should have been refueled by now, and this is looking good. Alright, so we got that stuff. Then let's move over. Navigraph, airports, Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot, charts. Taxi, and down here we can go with the parking stands east, A340, like that. And then we can take our SID chart, which is going to be the Oboka 3 Whiskey departure. So that'd be this one. Lovely. Now let's go for our takeoff performance. Frankfurt, runway 25 center. Let's take an intersection takeoff here, minus 100 meters, just to be on the safe side with our lineup. We are going to accept those winds. For weight and balance, we got a takeoff weight of 314, and looking outside, it seems to be raining a little bit here. So we are going to take this wet and anti-ice on. And 315 takeoff weight, like that. Okay, the rest is looking good. Compute 1 plus F. Nah, not gonna do that. Give me config 2, please. Here we go. With a V1 max 391 meter stop margin, that's looking fantastic. I do really like that takeoff calculator, by the way. It's a little clumsy to enter figures in here, but the output is exactly the same that you would get in the real-world Airbus performance tool, which is what I really do appreciate. Okay, lovely. So that stuff is done. Then let's move on to our ECAM. Oxygen quantity is good. Hydraulic quantities are good. Engine oil quantity. Let's power up that FADAC. Alright, the engine oil is full, I like it. Then we can switch it. Now that's interesting. I can't switch the FADAC off. What's that? It just comes right back on again. Okay, yeah, bug. Anyway, it will turn off after I think 8 minutes. So then we'll just keep it running for the time being. But yeah, found another bug in the aircraft. Alright then, pre-flight procedure. So switch the power off and on again. Battery is charging normally. That is looking good. Fuel pumps are all on already. That's looking good. And the right hand side CVR test is looking good, and you should be monitoring the PAs up there. QNH is in here. It's the 16th of March 2026, and down here everything is set. Okay then, frequencies are already set, and now the ground is preset as well. Weather radar should be something like this. Middle is set, right side is set, and then we can start with our FMS. So let's pull up that flight plan. Just a pity that we can't move the EFB somewhere onto the table or so, which would really make our life easier, but hey, okay, so be it. Alright, good, so that stuff is done. Then A340-600 Trent engine NavDB is up to date. The flight plan has initialized automatically, and that's all looking okay. Ground temperature 6 degrees. So, flight plan, Frankfurt, departure, runway 25 center on the Oboka 3 Whiskey departure, which is this one, insert, and for Newark, we'll be arriving probably in runway 22 right down here, and our stars the Flow Z4 arrival, which is that one, and we don't have any transition, which is fine. Okay, secondary copy active, Frax 5, based on Frankfurt's 25 Senna / 246 and 25 miles, and that's a PBD waypoint, store, holding, insert, 246 right hand turns. That's all looking good, and then we can set up an immediate return here. So Frankfurt arrival, ILS 25 center Zulu approach, insert. Okay, and this is all looking good. Then back to the flight plan, fix info, EGDF 25 center 246 and Frax 5. Like this, and then we can go over all that SID. So, Navigraph, chart. Let's have a look down here. Couple of restrictions on that one, and look at that. Looks quite like the chart, doesn't it? I'm happy with that. Initial climb clearance on this, probably 7,000. Yeah. Here we go, 7.1 is pre-selected. Okay, then we can check the next thing, and that's the oceanic waypoints. So we are going to cross via track Delta today. So that's right down here. Okay, so we got Dogal, then 55 north, 20 west, 56 north, 30 west, 55 north, 40 west, 53 north, 50 west, and Rika. Now we can cross-check those points as well. So 5520 is 5520 indeed. Then we got 5630, and that's 5630 indeed. 5540 is checked as well, and finally 5350 is checked as well. Okay, so far so good. Then let's move on to the init page, wind data, and we can request this. Okay, wind data uplink is here. Thank you very much. Init B228 248. That stuff should not uplink, by the way. That is, I don't know why they did that. 248 is correct, and block fuel should be 86.5, like this. Then let's continue on with the fuel figures. So contingency 2.2, then alternate 4.4, and final 3.8, giving us 48 minutes of extra time, which is consistent with the contingency in here, plus the half hour that we added ourselves. Okay, for the takeoff, it's a config to takeoff down here. And for our takeoff performance figures, we got flex 70, 55, 67, 72. That correct? Yeah, that is correct. Okay, lovely. Thrust reduction and acceleration will be 1,400 each, and engine out acceleration 1,900. Like that. The climb page is clear, and EDDF 25 center goes into here. Optimum 342, cruising 360, max 375. That optimum is going to go up in the climb. The real one can predict that. This one can't. Fair enough. Okay, that's done. Then we can select the VORs over here. 7,000 is pre-selected, constraints and VORs. And that's it. So that our setup is completed. Looks like boarding is completed as well. So let's say hello to our passengers. Liebe Fluggäste, einen schönen guten Tag aus dem Cockpit, hier spricht Ihr Kapitän. Mein Name ist Emanuel und im Namen der deutschen Lufthansa darf ich Sie herzlich an Bord unseres A340-600 auf unserem Flug nach New York, Newark begrüßen. Flugzeit heute ca. 8 Stunden 45 aufgrund eines starken Gegenwindes, sodass wir jetzt unser Bestes tun, um schnellstmöglich hier vom Hof zu kommen und die Motoren zu starten. Dennoch erwarten wir heute eine leicht verspätete Ankunft. Vielen Dank nichtsdestotrotz, dass Sie heute unsere Gäste sind. Lehnen Sie sich zurück und genießen Sie den Flug mit uns. Wir melden uns dann im Anflug mit den neuesten Wetterdaten bei Ihnen. Ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emanuel, and in the name of Lufthansa, welcome aboard our A340-600 on our flight to New York, Newark. Today's flight time will be 8 hours 45 minutes, which is a little longer than scheduled due to some very strong headwinds today. Nonetheless, we are expecting to arrive with just a minor delay in Newark, and we are now doing our best to start the engines as quickly as possible so that we can make our way soon. Thank you very much for being with us. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. If there is anything we can do for you to make it more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew members. Thank you very much, and again, welcome aboard. Okay, so that stuff is done. Then let me just see down here. I do not think we have an ATIS available, but nonetheless, let me try that. Departure ATIS request. ATIS Frankfurt, yeah, not available. And we don't need all that remaining stuff right now, so let's just clear all of that in order to get rid of the company message prompt on our ICAS. This ICAS, too many Boeings recently, he can. Okay, here we go. So that stuff is done. Then I suppose we can go ahead and call for our IFR clearance up next. So that's going to be 122035. Frankfurt delivery, guten Morgen, Lufthansa 402 Heavy, information Alpha, request IFR clearance to Newark. Unfortunately, the Aerosoft/Tollus bus does not support Say Intentions AI, so we cannot use the PDC feature over here. Now, to be fair, Say Intentions has that ACAS bridge feature.
Lufthansa 402, cleared to Newark Liberty via the Oboka 3 Whiskey departure. Climb flight level 070. Expect flight level 36010 minutes after departure.
No, that's US.
Departure on 118.505, squawk 4757. Expect runway 25 center.
Lufthansa 402 Heavy is cleared to Newark via the Oboka 3 Whiskey departure runway 25 center, climbing flight level 70, departure 118505, squawk 4757. 25 center, Oboka 3 Whiskey, 70.
402, read back correct. Ground is on 121.805, safe flight, sir.
121.805, Lufthansa 402. Okay, lovely. So the SID is cross-checked, 18505. Let's just pre-select that here. Like that, and squawk 4757.
Welcome aboard Lufthansa Flight 402, departing from Frankfurt and heading to Newark.
Okay. Lovely, so that stuff's done. Then let's do the cockpit preparation checklist. Gear bits and covers, removed, fuel quantity, 86,440, and that is balanced. Seatbelts on, ADRs, nav and power ref, QNH 1014, cockpit preparation checklist complete. So GSX, please prepare the position for pushback and departure. The checklist is complete, and then we can go into our ground chart on here. Like that. Okay, and with that we're pretty much all set up, so by now we should have received the load sheet, which is 228 and 24.8. So that's 228 and 24.8. 86.5 is correct. 313.3. We took 315, close enough. Figures are still good, so we can keep this. Trim up 2.6. And that's our setup completed. Green dot 246. Okay, so far so good. So let's do the departure briefing. We are departing Frankfurt 25 Center Oboka 3 Whiskey departure, climbing level 70, MSA 4300, and extra fuel and time. We've got 47 minutes. So our taxi has, well, countless hotspots, basically everything that has wheels underneath this airport. And our stop margin for the RTO is 391 meters plus TAS effect. The engine outset is straight at 25, climbing 5000, MSA 4.3. If we need to make an immediate return, we are below the maximum landing weight. Or, well, no, we are not, but we are within a weight where an immediate return is possible. So we're only going to pick up the holding and work out checklists if nothing immediately life-threatening happens, so that'd be things like a fire that is not extinguishable, etc. In that case, we can make an immediate return, put the packs off, and that is the most important part of the overweight landing procedure completed. Now, for our departure, we've got nothing special, we've got nothing non-standard. I don't see any threats either, but the one thing we got to keep in mind here is our airspeed at 235, so we basically got to keep the flaps extended all the way until we're past Ravki. And that's it. Any questions? No? Alright, then that's our departure briefing completed. Ground from cockpit. Guten Morgen. Please confirm all doors and hatches are closed. Ground equipment can now be removed from our side and the pin is inserted. Yep, that's all confirmed, Captain, and we are ready for pushback. Roger that, we'll call now. Frankfurt ground, Lufthansa 402 Heavy, request pushback and startup.
Lufthansa 402, pushback and startup approved. Face west.
Pushback and startup approved, facing west, Lufthansa 402. Okay, before start checklist. Park and brake. Set. Takeoff speeds and thrust. V1 155, VR 167, V2 172, flex 70. Windows closed, beacon on before start checklist complete. Ground from cockpit. Pushback and startup approved, facing west, park and brake set. Roger, facing west, release brakes. Park and brake released. Thank you. Start the pushback, stand by for engine start. Roger that. So, off block at 30, which is exactly on time. Very nicely done. That's what I call German efficiency over here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Lufthansa Flight 402 heading to Newark. Our estimated flight time is approximately 8 hours and 45 minutes. Please pay close attention to the upcoming safety demonstration as it contains important information even for frequent flyers. Fasten your seatbelts by inserting the metal tip into the buckle and pulling the strap to tighten. The seatbelt must be fastened whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated. Please return your seatbacks and tray tables to the upright position and open your window blinds for takeoff. Mobile phones and electronic devices must be set to flight mode, and larger devices should be stowed securely. Smoking and the use of e-cigarettes are prohibited.
Okay, ground, we're ready for engine start, sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll begin with engines 1 and 2 now.
Pull the mask firmly, place it over
Clear 1 and 2.
Lufthansa 630.
Engine 1 start.
25 center taxi via November 7, November 4, Lima 3.
Put it on and inflate it only after
And engine 2 start.
Runway 25 center taxi via November 7, November 4, Lima 3, Lufthansa 630.
Leave all personal belongings behind and follow
Lufthansa 5 Romeo Whiskey ready to taxi.
If any electronic device becomes hot or catches
Lufthansa
fire,
5 Romeo Whiskey, runway 25 center taxi via November 7, Link 4, N8 Blue, November 7, November 4, Lima 3.
Alrighty.
Runway 25 center taxi via November.
So there's area number 7 right up here, so we'll probably be pulled forward a little bit.
November 4, Lima 3, Lufthansa 5 Romeo Whiskey.
Looks like the rain is stopping, but I guess the runway is still going to be wet for now, so we'll just keep everything as calculated. Got some rather low clouds over here as well, so we'll be using anti-ice for the departure. I think that's the right call to make.
German Cargo 911, runway 18 taxi via North Whiskey 1.
Okay, we've got good starts on engines 1 and 2, we'll start engines 3 and 4. Clear 3-4.
Flying Bulgaria 438, contact tower on 118.78. Switching to tower, flying Bulgaria 438.
Ouch, that was an interesting way to lower the nose. Would probably have bent the entire gear. So, pushback completed, set brakes. And the brakes are set. So, 3 and 4 in progress. Should have been on the interphone. Okay, there's a tuck. And that is a lifter, so there is no tow bar. Here we go, good start on 3. And good start on 4. So, trim 28.4, that is checked, and there's the clear signal. So, after start checklist. RTIs on, Ecam status checked, pitch trim 28.4%, rudder trim neutral, after start checklist complete. Flight controls. Full up, full down, neutral. Full left, full right, neutral. Rudder, full left, full right, and neutral. Lufthansa 402 Heavy, request taxi.
Lufthansa 402, runway 25 center taxi via November 8, Link 5, November 7, November 4, Lima 3. Expect runway 25 center.
Lufthansa 402 taxi hold upon runway 25 center via November 8, Link 5, November 7, November 4, Lima 3. So we'll start down here, November 8, Link 5, November 7, November 4, Lima 3. Okay, clear on the left side and clear on the right side. Park and brake off. Let's go. Brake check. Pressure 0. So, link 5 is right up here. So we'll swing over onto November 7. So, vehicles clear on both sides, even though that guy would probably get hunted down by that marshaller now. Maximum wingspan 65, not a problem. Then the right is clear, the left is clear, we'll be following the jumbo over there.
German Cargo 448 ready to taxi.
German Cargo 448, runway 18 taxi via Papa 1 and North Whiskey 1.
Runway 18 taxi via Papa 1 and North Whiskey 1, German Cargo 448.
Okay, and I have no changes to the briefing. It did stop raining, but we have already briefly talked about that.
5 Alpha Lima, taxi to parking via Mike 19er, Mike 8, hold short of runway
So
25
Squawk
center,
is
then Lima 5,
in.
November 3.
Mike 19er, Mike 8, hold short of runway 25 center, then Lima 5, November 3, Condor 5 Alpha Lima.
The spoilers disarmed again. Here we go. Just waiting for the cabin now. Okay, we continue towards November 4. That upcoming one is November 5, so we'll probably be going somewhere over there.
Ready to taxi.
China
Look at that.
220, runway 25 center,
What did I
taxi
say?
via November
Threats,
1,
anything
Lima
with
1.
wheels on it.
Runway 25 center, taxi via November 1, Lima 1, China Eastern 220.
So, there's a Singapore over there. In the back. Is that an A350? I think it is. And that's probably going through November 4, so we'll be following him. Okay, the cabin is ready. So let's keep it nice and slow behind the 747. And taxi checklist. Flight controls checked, flap setting, config 2, radar and predictive wind shear, on and auto, engine start selector, norm, ECAM memo, takeoff, no blue. Taxi checklist complete. Oh, look at that, it's pretty busy at the holding point. Well, then we might as well take it slow over here. We don't want to break anything. Left side's clear, right side's clear. Well, fair enough. 12:30 is probably the prime departure time here. We did hear Lufthansa 630 on the radios earlier on. That's the Dubai flight. Singapore kind of makes sense at this time of the day as well. They're going to arrive early morning their time.
Lufthansa 29er Yankee, runway 25 center taxi via November 4, Lima 3.
Runway 25 center taxi via November 4, Lima 3, Lufthansa 29er Yankee.
Singapore 329er contact tower on 118.78.
Okay, and that is a long line. Well, I can tell you one thing, we are going to be late today. That's not just because of the weather. So the right side is clear, the left side's clear. We're going to get in line behind the 747. And yeah, then it's probably going to take a couple minutes. Alright, well my friends, that was a pretty long departure delay here. We spent, let's see, yeah, 50 minutes at the holding point, used up 2.5 tons of taxi fuel. But finally, we've just got the handover to Tower. Frankfurt Tower, Lufthansa 402, ready for departure. So the Singapore is going, the Thai crossed the line, that means he probably has to go first as well.
Heavy Frankfurt Tower, runway 25 center, hold short, your number 2 behind the A350.
Yeah, so 350 is going first, and then it's going to be our turn. That's fine, even though that 777 should depart first because he's crossed the line, so by the time we line up, we... Oh, he's just... okay. No comment. That feels a bit like Vatson. Anyway, that means he's going, so that's fine with me. So we got to reconsider a couple things over here. First of all, we got to start with the weather, and we should probably just request a new departure ATIS here, just to be 100% safe. So just give me the METARs, please. So, METAR Frankfurt, that is slightly variable now on a QNH 1015. After a long departure delay like this, always got to consider these things like weather changes, etc. Do you need anti-ice now? Do you need another de-icing in case you're operating in winter conditions, all that kind of stuff. Today I think it's still quite cloudy, so we are going to keep the anti-ice over here, and everything else is still looking good. Let's also go ahead and switch the cabin temperatures up to the middle over here now. You can see temperatures work quite fine, but once we're in the air, passengers generally do like it a little bit warmer. Also, we're at 312 tons now, so we could recompute our takeoff data. So that's 312. Let's do that. The rest of the weather, yeah, 1015. And what else do we have? Most conservative wind is now 290 at 6. Like that, and the temperature is now 7 degrees. Okay, compute. Flex 70 still applies. 52, 67, 72. Flex 70. Then we can clear that scratch pad, please. No? Normally, when you hold the clear key, it should clear. Anyway, there's 152, 167, 172. That still applies. Trim 2.6 also still applies, and the other thing that we gotta ask ourselves is the extra fuel that we got, and it's 39 minutes now, still okay. Alright, so there's that. Now the Vietnam is also departing, and he told us that we are behind the A350, but that's a 787, isn't it? Huh, interesting. Okay, well I guess it's going to be our turn behind him. Lufthansa 402 is ready for departure. Just making ourselves known again.
Lufthansa 402, runway 25 center, hold short 789 on the runway.
Yep. We guessed that far. Okay, in any case, after he's gone, it should be our turn. At this point, Probably should just make a quick call to the cabin. Hi, it's Manuel from the cockpit. Just to let you know, we should be next in line, so please do get seated once again. Thank you. Alright, the cabin should be ready. Look at that, we pushed 54 minutes ago. That's what I call delay. Hey, why is he lining up? That's not fair. Lufthansa 402, how long is our expected delay?
Lufthansa 402, say again, please.
How long is our expected delay?
Lufthansa 402, good, expect a short delay, approximately 5 minutes.
Yeah, you said that 50 minutes ago. Okay.
Over to departure, Vietnam Airlines 36.
So he's going, let's pre-select the departure frequency already, and then we should definitely be ready any moment here. So 18505, there it is. Why is the transponder selected to number 2? Oh, it's number 1 earlier, wasn't it? Or did I accidentally hit the wrong button down there? Look at that, he's airborne and straight in the clouds. Looking at this, there's even a shower coming in now, so it was definitely the right call that we still calculated with the anti-ice on. So, I'm wondering, should we try and convince the AI that we need to go up next?
Lufthansa 8 Echo Juliet, contact ground on 121.805. Ground Lufthansa 8 Echo Juliet.
Yeah, that guy's still departing from the intersection.
Lufthansa 2 Papa Juliet holding short 25 center, ready for departure.
So, looking down here.
2 Papa Juliet, winds 250 at 6, runway 25 center, cleared for takeoff.
The next guy. Huh. Looking down here, should have had 800 kilos of taxi fuel. Started with 86.5, we used 3 tons now. Lufthansa 402, we need to depart next or we are running out of fuel.
Lufthansa 402, good, cleared for immediate takeoff, runway 25 center. After departure, fly runway heading until reaching 5500, then proceed on course.
Lufthansa 402, runway 25 center, cleared for takeoff, fly runway heading until 5500, then proceed direct Oboka. Okay, well, suppose that works for me. Cabin crew, prepare for departure.
Approaching 25 center.
Okay, lineup checklist. Takeoff runway 25 center, full length. What the? TCAS Tara, packs 1 and 2 off, checklist complete. Could you please disappear, you 737 over there? Oh man, talk about immersion breakers, huh?
Contact departure.
Over to departure, Lufthansa 2 Papa Juliet.
Okay, we'll do what you would do in the real world. When the 737 is passing about 700 feet on RT cars, that's normally a good point to clear the next aircraft for takeoff. Especially since the 73 is probably going to follow SID while we are going to follow the runway heading.
On runway 25, center.
That's checked. Okay, lovely. So, just waiting for that 737 to go away. What is he doing anyway? Is he in a wind shear or something? Now he's climbing. Oh, that's interesting.
Lufthansa 402 Heavy, runway 25 center, winds 210 at 11, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 25 center, cleared for takeoff, Lufthansa 402 Heavy. Okay. Takeoff. Ground flag 70, SRS, runway, auto thrust blue. Thrust set. .100 knots, checked. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Pull heading. Heading.
Lufthansa 2 Papa Juliet, winds 250 at 6, runway 25 center, cleared for takeoff.
Thrust climb, open climb, auto thrust.
Lufthansa 402,
Flaps
contact
1.
departure on
Speed check.
118.505.
118.505, Lufthansa 402. Long radar, Lufthansa 402 Heavy, passing 2000, climbing 70.
Lufthansa 402 Heavy, Frankfurt departure identified. Climb flight level 070.
Climbing flight level 70, Lufthansa 402 Heavy. So, it's a little strange actually flying this departure, but when you look down here you can definitely see why there is normally the early left turns. Going right over all the cities. Flap 0. Speed check, flap 0. 125.405, Lufthansa 402. Autopilot 1. Langradar, hello, Lufthansa 402 Heavy, passing 3700, climbing level 70.
Lufthansa 402, Langenradar identified, Grüße Frankfurt am Main, QNH 1014.
QNH 1014, Lufthansa 402 Heavy. Set QNH. And that's cross-checked. And set stun out.
Lufthansa 402, FedEx 1014, continuous files. Lufthansa 402 Heavy, maintain 7,000 feet.
Maintaining 7,000, Lufthansa 402. So, speed, vertical speed, and we're passing 5.5. Direct or Boca. And insert. Nav. 1,000 to go. So we're above the MSA. So the crossing...
402, climb flight level 240.
Climbing flight level 240, Lufthansa 402. First climb flight level 240 blue. So you can have terrain down there, even though it's probably not going to be much of an issue crossing the tunnels any longer. But you can have it anyway. So let's see how bad the damage is for our arrival time. 21:58 versus 21:15. 45 minutes late. Yep, nothing we can do about it. Let's see, extra fuel is now 37 minutes, 16 tons. What happens if we go cost an X80? $200 kilos, definitely gonna do that. Probably even faster. Let's see, cost an X150. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, and going through level 100. We'll definitely keep the signs on for the time being. Then clear and copy, please.
Dear guests, the use of approved electronic devices is now permitted in flight mode. Our cabin service will begin shortly. Thank you for your patience and enjoy the flight with Lufthansa.
360, 346, 379 looks good the way it is. Well then, I'd say that's it for the time being, so just sit back, relax and enjoy the flight with us, and then I see you on the other side when we start the approach into Newark.
afternoon, Newark Liberty, altimeter 2984. Expect the ILS runway 22 left approach into Newark Liberty.
Okay guys, you heard it. Altimeter 2984, and we're expecting the ILS 22 left. So 22 left means we quickly have to rebuild that arrival down here, because we had planned for runway 22 right. Check gross weight, where's that coming from?
Heavy, descend and maintain 6,000 feet, altimeter 2984.
Descend and maintain 6,000 on 2984, Lufthansa 402 heavy. Okay. That's, tell you what, for now that's alt 7000 magenta, and then we can go ahead and set her up for the ILS 22 left, and the gross weight is checked down there. Okay, so 22 left, that's this one, the rest can stay in here as it is right now. We're still going flowsy, crank, etc., and then let's go thruster, load and descent out 6000 blue. Okay, and that is looking good for the time being. Now, let's go ahead and cross-check that approach. So, Navigraph, approach, 22 left, ILS. So, we got bust in 1500, 3000, minimum 210. And in here...
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now beginning our final approach into Newark. Please turn off your
bust,
electronic devices.
well, 1610, 3 degrees, and... minimum will come, and then the missed approach is right-hand turn heading 225, climbing 3000, and in here it's heading 225, 3000 at Kilmar, and that looks pretty much correct down there. Okay, beautiful. So we're past 10,000, light signs and so on. LS on both sides, auto brake is still on. We'll recalculate the landing distance in a few moments, and that's it. Okay, speed, vertical speed. Okay, good. So that stuff's done. We don't need anything there. We need Newark 22 left on here, and for the performance, all that stuff is still looking good, and the go around is also still looking good. Fuel prediction 33 minutes extra is also looking good, and that's it. Okay, nice. Then we are all set up for the arrival, so we still need that anti-ice? No, we don't. The plane is a little bit oversensitive with our severe ice detection, but hey, gonna keep it that way. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and talk about the approach briefing one more time. So we are following the Flowsy 4 arrival for an ILS approach runway 22 left, MSA 3100, and the MDA is 210. The go-around is right-hand turn out, climbing 3000, and extra fuel on time. We have basically half an hour. Weather over the airport seems to be okay. It's mostly in the vicinity of the approach at the moment. Alright, now for the approach, flight director guidance, ILS approach with config full, auto brake low, maximum reverse, duplicate the runway to the right hand side. Stop margin, let's just have another look at this. Runway 22 left, please, compute, 53 meters. So I'll tell you what, let's use slightly higher auto brake setting here. That looks better, doesn't it? So, auto brakes 2, and that gives us 1000 to go. 425 meters stop margin to vacate the runway to the right hand side. Hotspots for taxiing is mostly going to be the crossing of runway 22 right, and then we'll taxi to the gate. I've got nothing special, I've got nothing non-standard, and that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions? Nope? Lovely, then that's our approach briefing complete. Now, we do have a little bit of weather here, but the present heading is actually looking quite good. I do have a feeling that the weather radar is a little oversensitive here. Normally I would just tune the gain down a little bit, because I doubt that there's any red over there if we can even see the sun. But yeah, so be it. We'll just have to take that as a given for the time being. Now, that's pretty much everything for our setup. Alt star. So let's do the approach checklist, please. It's Baroref, QNH 29084.
Heavy bad news. Another airport's temporary closure has shifted traffic to us unexpectedly. Hold at shaft as published. Descend and maintain 4,000 feet. left turns won't be long, 5.0 minutes at the most.
Hold at shaft, descend and maintain 4000, left-hand turns, and that's all copied, Lufthansa 402. Okay, well. Is there actually published holding at shaft?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your friendly cabin crew. We are currently on our final approach into Newark, so please turn off your
No, there
electronic
isn't.
devices and stow them
Okay,
until
I
we
don't
arrive
care.
at the gate. Kindly put your tray tables away. Ensure
Shaft,
your seats are
hold,
in
current
full
inbound
position
left
and
turns,
fasten
and
your
it's actually
seatbelts.
from database, so
The
that's
weather
looking
in
good.
Newark is quite pleasant.
Last exit at
Our
2002.
assigned is Terminal
That looks
B65.
easy. Okay,
Thank you
insert.
for your cooperation.
So here's the shaft holding. So there was a published one. And then we can continue that descent.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your cabin crew speaking. We are now on our final approach into
Okay,
Newark.
vertical speed, alt 4000
Please turn
blue.
off your electronic devices.
Looks like we are going to spend a couple of minutes on that holding. So
Ensure your seats are in their full upright position and fasten your seatbelts.
yeah, I'd say I just talk to you again when the holding is completed.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Alright guys, that expected holding time got quite a bit longer than originally anticipated, which is actually putting us into trouble right now. Got a remaining hold time of 6 minutes here. That means we can't even do a single more hold. We need to tell ATC that we have to start the approach now, otherwise we gotta divert. Lufthansa 402 is reaching minimum fuel. We have to start the approach now.
Lufthansa 402 Heavy, hold present position, maintain 4,000 feet. Advise when ready to resume approach.
We are ready to start the approach now, Lufthansa 402. Lufthansa 402, we are ready to start the approach now. Lufthansa 402, request heading 180 to avoid weather. Let's start that stuff first, getting through this, because that cell is moving into shaft.
Lufthansa 402 Heavy, heading 180 approved, maintain 4,000 feet.
Heading 180 approved, Lufthansa 402. Heading. Okay, nice, we're getting out of the holding. Let's go ahead and clean up our flight plan. So, direct to... Let's take ZAF-P and radial in. That's looking good. Insert. Like that. Going back to 250 is fine. And then no nav intercept is checked, and this gives us 8 minutes extra fuel now. So that's not a lot. JFK? JFK, okay. Alright. So we're starting the approach now, and we can go ahead and just have a look into our remaining options once more, so that you guys have an idea as well. So, weather and ATIS, we got Newark, we'll take JFK, we'll take Philly. And we'll also take Boston. Give me the current weather for all four, please. So then, starting at the top with Boston, the weather over there is actually quite okay, so Boston is a possibility. Then we got Philadelphia. 150 at 13, gust 21, but overall okay.
402 Heavy, thanks for your patience. You're cleared to leave the hold at shaft. Resume your arrival.
Can we turn left heading 150, Lufthansa 402? Because that would get us clear of that weather over there.
Lufthansa 402 Heavy, left heading 150 approved, maintain 4,000 feet.
Heading 150 approved, maintaining 4,000, Lufthansa 402. Okay, perfect. That keeps us clear of that weather cell over there. I'm not sure how good of an idea it is to fly downwind of the cell, but let's give it another 5 degrees left. 145. That should be fine. Okay, so yeah, Philadelphia isn't exactly perfect, but is acceptable. Then we got JFK, which is not acceptable. That's actually right at the crosswind limit. For that visibility, no, JFK is not an option. Not going to do that. Newark actually is very good right now. Overcast 300, but apart from that, okay. So for now we're gonna stay in Newark, but with the weather in JFK as close as it is, we gotta be a little careful that we are not eventually going to get that same JFK weather moving into Newark, but for the time being it's alright. Okay, good. This weather radar is annoying. Like, there was only that one cell, and all of a sudden this is all turning pink. I have a feeling it's bugged anyway, but yeah. We'll do it the easy way. Cabin crew, be seated. Cabin crew, be seated. I mean, it definitely looks alright where we are right now, but just want to be better safe than sorry there. Looking outside, everything over there would be fine as well. Lufthansa 402 is able for heading 160. Now it's up to ATC whether they give it or not, but we have informed them. And that's the important part.
402 Heavy, heading 160 approved, maintain 4,000 feet.
Heading 160 approved, Lufthansa 402 Heavy. Okay, and we're maintaining 4,000. I mean, we do that anyway, but that's that. So for the time being, this actually looks quite alright. The weather radar seems to be a little overdone.
Heavy, proceed direct south high, descend and maintain 2,000 feet until established on the left, clear to the ILS runway 2 left.
Good to Zaf, by descend and maintain 2,000, cleared ILS 22 left, Lufthansa 402 Heavy. Lufthansa 402, can we maintain 4,000 for the time being? Just because it's clear over here, I don't want to immediately descend into that pink thing down there. Just to be safe here. Maintaining 4,000, Lufthansa 402 Heavy. Okay, good. I'll keep the airplane above the weather, and then we'll descend into it when we absolutely have to. By the time we reach this, we'll be slowing down as well so that it doesn't get too bad. And I think with that, we've got a good plan for what to do over here. Approach checklist is still completed, everything is still looking good. So yeah, I think we are absolutely good to go like this. Okay. So let's go 5 degrees left to avoid that weather in front. Heading, just in order to avoid flying into this. We are cleared for the approach, so this shouldn't really bother ATC too much. And yeah, that's it. That's our plan. Lots of headwind at the moment, just like we had it in the weather forecast. 60 knots up here, and then it is going to get less when we are getting down. Now, on this heading, we're intercepting about an 8-mile final, so we gotta start our descent here soon. My idea is just to keep the speed for a little bit longer, and then start the descent once we're actually on the glide.
Departure United 1847 2000 for 4000.
United 1847, radar contact, climb and maintain 10,000.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that we'll need to start the descent now anyway. We're cleared at 2000. Lufthansa 402, are we still cleared to descend altitude 2000? Looks like we're going right into this. Not much we can do about it. Yeah, if he's not responding, I don't care. Vertical speed. Activate approach race. Okay, then we are slowly slowing down. We're slowly going down, and we are cleared for the approach. There's Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2, glass slope, localizer blue. Okay, flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. So, 12 miles out, and that seems quite accurate. Let's help it slow down a bit. Speed brakes going out. The weather is actually not looking too shabby here for the time being. Looks like the weather radar was once again a typical case of MSFS weather going mad. Right, here we are, flaps 2. And speed brakes going back in. And speed is checked, flaps 2. So, speed 180. Or just select the F speed for now. Cleared for the approach. We were originally cleared as FP, so let's just turn right. 190 and still cleared for the ILS.
Lufthansa heavy contact with the tower on
118.3, Lufthansa 402 heavy. Newark Tower, Lufthansa 402 heavy, ILS 22 left.
Lufthansa 402 heavy, Newark Liberty International Airport Tower, roger. Lufthansa 402 heavy, winds 140 at 7. Runway 22 left, cleared to land.
Runway 22 left, clear to land, Lufthansa 402 heavy. Okay. Gear down. Checked. Flaps 3. Speed check. Flaps 3. So, speed 160. Glass slope, block star. Go around altitude set. Flaps full. Speed check. Flaps full. I'm going to keep it selected for the time being until the wind has calmed a little bit further down. That's just because of the huge difference between the winds up here in 2000 and the winds on the ground, which would otherwise lead to a rather extensive correction. Like, you can see if we are going managed right now, that's where it puts the ground speed mini. Not going to do that. I'm not going to fly 190 knots on the approach. We'll wait until the wind calms down a little bit, then we are going to switch over. Okay, landing checklist. Econ memo, landing no blue, landing checklist, complete. So the runway will appear somewhere over there. We do have a rather low cloud base, so I am going to keep the autopilot in for now and monitor the progress. So the wind seems to be calming down a little right now. 40 knots.
United 2387, hold short of runway 22 right.
This is the type of approach that you would absolutely fly with the autopilot. Because we've got a very low cloud ceiling, we gotta see that runway. Especially in weather like this, you really don't want to go around. When the alternates aren't that good, that's what I mean. Checked. Okay, the wind is coming down now. Managed speed. So that we can go over to ground speed mini now. Here we go. Looking fantastic.
Approaching 22 left.
Checked. Okay, we got ground contact.
Hold short of runway 22 right.
Holding short of runway 22 right, United 2387.
Oh, that's a nice wiper animation there. Land. Runway inside. Manual flight. Continue. That glide slope was a little low, wasn't it?
40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Spoilers. Reverse green decel.
Lufthansa 402
70 knots.
welcome to Newark, Liberty.
Manual
Contact
brakes.
ground on 121.8.
118, Lufthansa 402 heavy.
United 2387, hold short of runway 22 right.
Okay, kindly tune that for me, please. Newark ground, Lufthansa 402 heavy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Newark. Did you know that Newark is home to the oldest zoo in the United States? Thank you for flying with
Lufthansa
Lufthansa.
402 heavy.
Please
Newark
remain
Liberty
seated until you
International
reach our
Airport
final
ground.
parking
Say
position.
again.
On behalf of your flight,
Lufthansa 402 heavy, request taxi to the gate.
34 p.m. For those with connections,
Alright,
please note
so
the
we gotta
following.
stop here.
Flight 235 to Miami departs at 4:15 p.m. from gate 32, and flight 150 to Los Angeles departs at 4:45 p.m. from gate 50. Thank you.
Lufthansa 402 heavy. Taxi to Terminal B, gate 65 via Papa 2. Papa November Alpha Romeo Foxtrot. Good day.
Taxi gate 65, Papa 2, Papa November Alpha Romeo Foxtrot, Lufthansa 402 heavy. Good day. So, that's Papa November Alpha. So, where are we at right now? That's Charlie over here. So we gotta turn one further towards November. Then Alpha and Romeo Foxtrot. Okay, so left, right, and then to the gate. Okay, after landing checklist. Radar and predictive wind shear. Off, after landing checklist complete. And with that, welcome to Newark. Lufthansa 402, request crossing runway 22 right.
Lufthansa 402 heavy. Cross runway 22 right, then continue taxi.
Cross runway 22 right, Lufthansa 402 heavy.
Approaching 0 4 left.
So I gotta say, from all the airports we've flown to so far, Newark has the best map on the taxi camera down here. That is almost usable. Still very low resolution, but almost usable. So we continue by November. That's right over here. Then first left, first right. I think we can cut that corner a bit here. Taxi camera tells us as well that there's nothing there. But where are those lines coming from? That's nonsense. Okay, and there's Alpha over here. Ooh, lovely rainbow. Alright, so we're looking for Romeo Foxtrot into gate 65. '65 is at the northern terminal over here. Okay, so straight ahead past the third one and then left in a 65. Good. Of course it's missing, because why wouldn't it? Okay, let's do 63 then via Delta Mike. I think 65 may have a standard aircraft on it, or default, well, static, that's the word I've been looking for. So, start APU. And look at that, the A350 from Munich is here. So, 63 is probably to the left of the lot. Here's 62. And here's 63. Yeah, 65 has the LL on it over there. Okay, that's fine. So, lights off. Nice and slow. Incredible how much oversteering you need on the A340-6, isn't it? Okay, there's a marshal waiting for us down there. And stop. Nice. Okay, parking brake is set, APU is available and on. 4, 3, 2, 1. Cabin crew, all doors in park. And here we go. Made it to Newark. A little bit late with all the departure delay and then the holding and everything. But hey, here we are. That's all that counts, isn't it? So, kindly request the deboarding. Doors are disarmed. Actually, no, those are supposed to stay on. Okay, parking checklist. Parking brake chocks, brake set, engines off, fuel pumps off, parking checklist complete. And with that, my friends, welcome to Newark. I do hope you enjoyed the flight. I most definitely did. It was an interesting experience, quite different from what I had originally expected, but thoroughly enjoyable. I do hope that you guys think the same. No comment on that wrong door opening down there. But yeah, I do hope that you share that opinion, and I do hope that you enjoyed it. Leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and then I'm really looking forward to see you all again right on the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and you know the drill.